Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Paramount number 3560. This is a commercial door chain, or crash chain, they call them. 3560 is specifically the 25.5-inch length, and 25.5-inch length is the most common length for a crash chain. Of the three that you're generally going to find out in the wild, 20.5, 25.5, and 30.5. 25.5 is for 3-foot doors. 30.5 for your 3-6, 4-foot doors, and 20.5 for your 2'8", 2'6", smaller doors, like that, in that range. So if you have a 3-foot door, you're probably going to want 25.5 for your crash chain application. Okay. Now, where would you use a crash chain? Well, to help limit a door from swinging too far open. They're not the ideal solution whatsoever, because they're susceptible to not being able to reliably and predictably, under extreme stress, being able to actually perform for what they're intended to be used for. Proper hardware would be like an overhead stop, a slide track sort of system that's properly installed on the door and through bolted in the door, surface mounted or recessed into the top of the door or into the frame. And slide track designs like that are significantly more costly than a very inexpensive crash chain, but they are the proper, robust hardware engineered to do the job correctly. Now, why doesn't everyone use overhead stops? Well, because they're costly. The door and frame have to be prepped for them. Doing it in the field is generally not a possibility. That adds significantly to the cost. And as a result of those features, you're not going to see them in areas where it's an afterthought. A door that swings too far open is not only potentially dangerous to people naturally, but to the installation, the health of the door and frame, the wall around it. If a door gets opened at 90 degree or so, or whatever, 50 degree, and the wind grabs it and it just takes off, you can have an environment, even where there's a door closer, which are not, even with dead stop arms, really the best ever option for stopping a door. You can have a scenario where the door will get away from the user and destroy the hardware installation, destroy the door, the frame. So much so that, let's say there was an 8-inch thick wall and the frame was centered in that. Let's say if it's a 5 3/4 frame, that'll get out, and the door will get out to this point, hitting that outside corner of the door, and then literally pull the frame away from the wall, dent the door. And I've seen that done so in such a fashion where it's completely irreparable. It all has to be removed. I've seen doors that were literally dented, bent the entire height of the door. And you open that door to that 110 degree and you can see exactly where the line hits the wall. The door no longer closes. This happens all the time. Crash chains are good because at least there's an attempt to do it. And that's what these are for. And this 3560 from Paramount is good. It's a good quality chain that's on there. It's got this some sort of plastic, maybe vinyl wrap. The integrity of the chain is nice and decent. It's got that double spring style mechanism, and you can actually, if you were determined enough, pull that apart and be able to modify the length of the chain. Meaning, if you had wanted to use one of these on a narrower door, you could, by removing by resetting where the links are. The screws that you get, which is really where the trouble can begin with a crash chain, are just sheet metal screws. That is no way intended to actually be able to keep a door from tearing open. And if there's a wind condition, the mounting pad with its 4 screws is probably going to get torn out of the face of the door. You will want to order from us separately through bolts for a crash chain, or somehow through bolt it through the door that will give you a much better potential for a long-term healthy installation. And of course, the ability to deter the potential for damage, harm, really, to users and to the physical property itself, the door and the wall. The dimensions of where you're going to install this, you're going to want to do a reality check. If you have a door closer, you're going to want to make sure that this does not interfere with the door closer arm. From the jamb over to the header, you're probably going to be in the range of about 17 inch. Try about 17 inch over. Then on the face of the door, I would try something in the range of 14 inch. And set all of that up at those dimensions, and then just see how your operation works. Do a reality check on it. Hold it on there. Have somebody walk the door open and closed, and you can watch how that works, and make sure that it all works for you. And then once you're relatively convinced that that's going to all work, go ahead and mark and pre-drill your holes. Like an inch down from the top of the door should be adequate. Keep in mind you might have some internal construction in the door where you're going through more steel than you had thought, which wouldn't be a bad thing if you're going to just stick with the sheet metal screws. The vinyl cover is obviously there to protect the door and frame and people from, being hit by just steel. Now the end of this is, there's nothing here that's brass. This is all zinc die cast. However, the spring itself, the chain and the springs are definitely steel, as are the screws. So just these mounting points that are cast would be zinc. Other manufacturers will make these out of brass, and therefore offer them in different architectural finishes. Why you would want the Paramount? Well, because it's incredibly robust. It is very much similar to units that are orders of magnitude more expensive, and it's really inexpensive. And really, as a result, I think you get a great quality product that'll do the job, or at least the one that this is intended to do. Finally, or almost finally, tantamount, there is a link below this video to a document called Product Catalog that will allow you to review some trim and auxiliary hardware items from Paramount. And if you're looking for a great complement, actually, of hinge, door closer, lock set, or exit device with some trim and auxiliary availability, Paramount's got it in stock. They ship it out quick, the whole 9 yards. Good quality company to consider for that material. And now finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Paramount products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. If you have any questions on the Paramount number 3560 25.5 inch crash chain or any other Paramount product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.